as always, and would appreciate your comments. And the article is linked for you to dig into more of that and what it could mean going forward. Racket number two, Nicole, another list. Are you ready for a list?
Well, we haven't done a list in a while, I feel like.
We'll link this up. This is an Inman article list. It's an opinion piece, 10 must-do sale preparation tasks, regardless of the market. You're seeing a lot of signals that the market is shifting. So whether you're in a good market, a less than good market, a bad market, whatever kind of market you're in, these are 10 must-do sale preparation tasks. We're going to go through all 10 and say whether that's a racket or not.
Yep.
Number one is paint. Nicole, paint. Do you think regardless of the market, sellers should be painting?
100%. And if you're not painting walls, you better be at least painting your trim.
Really? 100% of the time, people need paint.
100% of the time. Well, again, I mean, unless you...
I couldn't disagree more.
What? Stop it. Well,
I think there's a lot of situations where you need paint, but 100% of the time, regardless of the market...
Yes. 100%.
I mean,
yes.
There's so many homes that we can point to over the last 16 months that probably needed paint, but it didn't matter. They had 40 offers. So the paint wasn't going to make a difference.
Well, but we've talked about this with staging though, too. You know, will you get better offers?
Staging, because listen, the photos, the first showing.
No.
You can't tell if the paint is good or not. It's not until you get into the house. And listen,
which is even worse. It's like we were just talking about before with a real estate photo. Like you see what you thought that I looked like, and then you're pissed off, you're disappointed.
No.
And then you're deducting price. You have to paint.
And that's why I think the staging argument is valid. I got to get into the house and visualize how I can set up my stuff. Staging accomplishes that. But most buyers excited, new buyers excited about buying this home. Okay, the layout works. The floor plan's great. I can put my stuff here. I can set it up, the location. Love the location. But all it needs is paint. Oh, I'm a new excited homeowner. I can paint. I'll paint. It'll be fun. We'll get pizza and we'll paint.
Pizza? Now you're getting pizza?
Pizza painting party. Everybody has pizza when they paint. Everybody knows that.
Wait a minute.
Everybody knows.
Paint? You paint your own home?
Everybody knows you get pizza when you paint.
I don't paint my own house.
When I was buying homes from 19 to 21, making very bad investments, not like the investment you and I just made, which is a great investment. But when I was making bad investments, I used to do these pizza painting parties. I'm not going to be painting this new investment that we just got, nor will I be eating pizza at that house.
No, but I do think that paint is very important. And I bet you 9 out of 10 of those homes that are getting overlisted have painted. Sorry.
All right. I'm calling racket on that.
I'm not calling a racket.
You're not calling. Number 2, landscaping. Yeah. Are you dying? Are you good?
I have a tickle.
I
have a little bit of tickle. Wait, so are we saying that, okay, so this article is everything, and it is talking about, we do need to preface, we are talking about ROI here, like return on your investment. So,
that's how they lead off the article. They're talking about return on the investment. Yeah, set the expectation by focusing on return on investment. So it's important as an agent to set the tone on what the return is on all these different things. And you know, this who wrote the article here, Kara Amir, is arguing that landscaping should be addressed before going on, regardless of the market. I do agree with that. You know, again, throw down some mulch, get rid of your weeds. And I agree too. I agree too. Cut some shrubs. I mean, jeepers creepers. People are going to be driving by. I mean, I do think that it's a super easy thing. You don't even have to spend money on it. I mean, you just go out there and do it yourself. If my first showing is online, I'm likely seeing an exterior home photo first. And then I'm probably driving by before I get in the home, to your point, to see if I like the location. So your first 2 experiences with the property have to do with the curb appeal. So at least the front yard should be addressed in some way, whether it's just a cleanup, whether you do a weekend cleanup, mulch, like you said, whatever. So I agree there. Number 3, an appliance refresh. Again, and I am happy that they at least do talk about the difficulty of finding appliances. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I bet you're looking at least 4 to 6 weeks for appliances right now if you're lucky. Talks about that. I do not want to wait to put my house on the market for an appliance to come in. I think you're probably better off maybe giving them an appliance credit where you're at least acknowledging the fact that you need appliances, but like to wait 6 weeks, you're going to miss out on the market. So I disagree with this. Unless you're having an agent come into your home like a year before, like maybe that's something that you're planning for. Sure. And I'm halfway on this. To your point, if you can get the appliances, I would rank appliances over paint. shiny new, brand new appliances over paint. So if you've got the time and you can actually get the appliances and you're going to get the return on investment, I would rank that above paint.
Okay.
Unless the place is like so bad. Like, okay, here's where I'll go back to paint a little bit.
Okay.
If you've got purple walls, then yeah, paint is at the top of the list. But if you have white walls and they're just a little bit dirty, I'm not.
I'm least worried about the walls, and I'm much more concerned with people's trim. I mean, you have families or dogs. I mean, it just looks worn, and it looks like kids beating it up. I think I said children, but
yeah, well, you said families, but my specifically toddlers. Reagan has this little.
Oh, like on wheels.
Well, she's got like her feet running on the bottom of this thing. It's like a UFO that she sits in.
Right.
I don't know the actual name of it. And she just keeps banging on the trim. Just keeps knocking my trim. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We need to put a bubble wrap around this UFO she's walking around my house in.
Wow.
Right. Number 4. What do you think of that, Nicole?
Countertops
is that
and
a
sink.
racket?
The UFO? The UFO is a racket.
UFO thing. Yeah.
UFO's
Number 4, countertop sink. What do you think?
I disagree. This, in my mind, is a complete and utter racket. I think that the problem here is you're also picking countertops that you like and maybe not a prospective buyer like. So this would not be anything that I would ever, unless someone's countertops were so horrible, or you're in a certain price point. You know, again, in this market, if you're, maybe over $400,000 and you don't have granite countertops, I think that's a huge disadvantage. Or
some type of stone. Yeah,
absolutely. And definitely something that you should be investing in. But I'm not going to say every time you need to update your countertops. Never.
Yeah, that's a racket. And what's a bigger racket is if you're a homeowner and what you said, Nicole, you're picking the countertop. You should have somebody like Nicole White, somebody in your local market who's an expert at design and what is trending today with the majority of the buyers. Remember, you're selling your home, so picking what you like is a really bad plan. Flooring update.
So this, I again, if we're talking about every single time,
and it states in here dated or worn carpet.
Yeah, so that I will agree with. I think that if you're not willing to replace the carpets, I do make my sellers at least get them cleaned, because I do think that having carpets cleaned can not only make them look better but smell better too. I mean, you're talking about animals or I mean that'd be the big one. Really nasty carpet, but if you have hardwoods that just needs a refresh, it's like the paint party. Somebody can come in there and refresh. Well, but I also think that again, I think this goes true with most things. I always like to offer out credits, so you're at least acknowledging the fact that you know that the floors need to be done, and here's a credit for you to put it towards that if that's what you choose to do. But
all right, so here's one, number 6, the roof.
Yeah.
If your seller's roof is nearing the end of its life, it's going to be difficult to get away with not replacing it when they prepare to sell. I'm calling big racket on that. So,
huge racket. No, I mean,
there you go.
I just listed a house recently, and again, it wasn't leaking. It was fine. The buyers did ask for a credit. To be quite honest, materials right now are atrocious. So to even start participating in doing a roof is crazy high. Again, this would be another situation. Take the credit, wait for the supplies to come down in price and then do it. But I disagree. I do not think that a roof needs to happen.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
right.
You're not going to get I would tell you right now, you're not going to get your ROI on that.
Never.
Replacing the roof.
But what you should do is obviously disclose. Say it's at least 30 years old so that they can't come
100%.
after you for it. Yeah.
Number 7, heating and air conditioning.
So this one's a hard one because you kind of need heat in order to sell a home typically, and you need financing.
So I mean, you have to have functional systems. If you have an HVAC system that is not functioning, get it functioning. But should you go and necessarily put air conditioning in? I mean, Nicole and I in a couple of weeks are closing on an investment property that doesn't have AC. We're going to be putting in air into that property. Now we're not doing central air. We're going to do the Mitsubishi wall units or something very similar to that,
right? So
that there is air. If you're going to sell a resale and you're not going through the renovation process, do you need to add air condition? I mean, are you the only home in your neighborhood without air condition?
So that's the biggest
probably
thing too. And price point too. I mean, I will say that I think that buyers now are are almost demanding air conditioning now. But again, is it worth dumping 20G just to like get a buyer to come into your house? I don't think so. I think if you're painting and making it look all frilly and pretty on the outside, I think you'll be able to find a buyer, no problem, that's then willing to just take it because it's pretty. Again, we're in the Northeast though too. So like,
that's what I was just going to say that.
I mean, air conditioning, we're talking about legit maybe for like 3 months tops. So
if you're in many other states in this country, then it's like, what are these people even talking about? AC's like at the top of the list.
Well, it's funny though, because again, you talk to people down in Texas and they don't understand like heat. Like, why do you need heat so bad? But anyway.
So it's definitely location based and it's got to be functioning properly. So I would say, it has to be functioning. Whatever system you have needs to be function. Number 8, handyman fix-it. So updating old plumbing fixtures,
light bulbs,
these types of things. Yeah.
So this one, I do like this one. I have had sellers even, I've asked them to replace doorknobs and hinges if they're a little older. Again, anything that immediately pops out that a buyer would walk through and immediately start like deducting price is where I hit first. And to be quite honest, these are the cheapest things for you to do. You know, for you to get a $25 doorknob is a lot cheaper than putting in central air. So whatever you can do to sort of take away from the largest ailment, in my opinion, is where you should start sort of like throwing some of the cash. So this one I do agree with.
Based on the premise of this article, regardless of market, this is a racket. Regardless of market, you don't need to change these things. So if you're in a great seller market, you do not have to change these things.
You need to have better light. Let's have at least
ridiculous.
Good
that is
light
ridiculous. I'm basing everything off of the regardless of the market headline here. All right, number 9. This is not a racket. This is the most important on the list. Number 9, deep cleaning, decluttering, and organizing. The most important, any market, hands down, no question about it. Number 9.
100%. I mean, this is definitely, this should be, I mean, if we're going in order, this should be 100% number one. Yes.
Regardless of market, that is a number 1 key thing to do. Number 10, windows. Number 10.
I mean, I don't
getting them clean.
I don't even clean my own windows. So I don't get it.
Remember, regardless of market, this is a racket.
I will say though that I do sometimes encourage my sellers to take out their screens because that actually makes the photos look better. And
crappy screens.
Yeah, you just take, even if they're nice screens, just take them out, store them in your garage. Again, the house looks a lot better without screens. It photographs well, and obviously, again, it's a lot less like distorted when you're in the house, so it just looks brighter. But Windows wouldn't even make my top 10.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real Word, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.